Your worst nightmare. Look what I have here. Which means that today we have the speaking part, guys. Yeah, I know you hate it. Yeah. Well, it's not that you hate it. It's not that students hate speaking. They are afraid of it. People think they are not really good at speaking, or that they are going, or all of them, they say, oh no, I think speaking is going to be the hardest part for me, but I promise the speaking part is the easiest part. Really easy, really. Why? Because, well, the examiner helps you. Yeah, the examiners are really good people, and they're going to help you. So remember, we are coming from the listening, and now we are going to our worst nightmare, that is the speaking part. What are we going to discover? Well, we are going to discover what is the speaking part for the FC, the tips to pass every part of it, how to improve our speaking skills, not only for the exam, also for your life, and our hands dirty. And I wrote here, pay attention live, because we are going to do a part that is going to be offline, and then we are going to do something in our conference to practice with your classmates of the master class this speaking part. Okay, ready? Yeah? Sure? Great. Now, let's go. Look at this one. Bob Sponge. This is how people feel in the first part of the speaking, like the interview. It's going to be so short, guys. So short, but for you, it's going to be like endless. And I promise you need to practice. And in order to pass, there are some tips I want you to follow to pass them. I'm gonna move a little. Okay, great. What kind of questions can I find? Can you find for the interview? Well, first of all, they are asking you your names. They're gonna say, "Hey, hello, my name is Mary. I'm gonna be the examiner today. And what's your name?" And you're gonna say, "Hey, my name is Daniela." Okay, Daniela. Can you please give me your sheets, your the sheets you have there. You're gonna give the sheets because they give you some papers before entering, in order, because they write comments and stuff. So you're gonna have the examiner, and then you're gonna have someone, another teacher, who's going to be taking notes. Okay. Well, and you are going to enter, you, a classmate, and the examiner. And this is the time of interview. So you speak to the examiner. You don't speak to your classmate. Okay, good. Now, what kind of questions? For example, do you have any friends? What interests do you share with your friends? Do you have brothers or sisters? What do you do in your free time? Do you study? You work, etc. Questions that you can, that you are really used to answering. Okay, so essential, if you want to pass, please forget about speaking short sentences and short time. It's not like they ask you, for example, hey, do you like going to the cinema? And you say, yes, I do. No, guys, that is not going to help you. So you say, oh, yeah, I love going to the cinema. I usually go with my friends, or the last movie I saw was blah, blah, blah. I love the cinema because of this. Remember, there is always a reason for your answer. Sometimes they can ask you why, but some others, they are not going to ask you why, but you have to give your reasons, okay? So speak without stopping. The examiner is going to stop you. So you're going to say something, you're going to be speaking, and then the examiner is going to stop you. Well, don't be afraid. Don't think that is, oh my gosh, the examiner stopped me because he didn't like what I was saying. No. It doesn't mean that. It's like, they have so many students to see that they had to stop you. And when they recognize that the person is answering correctly, they don't need to listen much. Then don't say just yes or no. Give reasons for all your answers. If you don't know what to say, just lie, invent. But invent something that is related to the topic, because some people, they speak, they ask a question and then they speak about whatever. No, just if they ask you, do you like going to the cinema? You are going to answer about the cinema and not going to restaurants. Understood? Well, if you didn't understand, it's better to ask politely the examiner to repeat. Like, hey, excuse me, would you mind repeating that, please? Or I didn't understand. Can you please repeat it? Okay, that's better than answering whatever. Because some people think that if you are going to ask a question to the examiner, you're going to be penalized. No, I mean, they're going to understand. I mean, sometimes in our own language, we don't understand everything. So we had to ask people to answer, to repeat the thing again. So the same happens here. If you ask politely, it's going to be more than fine. Okay, great. Let's move on. So use the keywords the examiner uses. Like, imagine the person says, when was the last time you, I don't know, you went on holiday? So you can say, well, the last time I went on holiday. So you're not going to make mistakes of tenses. Okay? All right. Now, here, please, I recommend you now to press, okay, to, press on the video, and you will go to an example of part 1. I'm going to be waiting here for you because don't worry, this video is going to be open in on another window. So you can see part 1 and then you continue watching the video with me, okay? And you will see here a beautiful example of 2 students speaking to the examiner. Right, after doing that, we are going to speak in part 2, long term. And I put here Robocop. Dun, 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 dun. Do you remember Robocop? He spoke like this. Remember? Well, that's not the way I want you to speak in speaking part 2. In this part of the exam, they are going to give you 2 pictures and they are going to write, they are going to give you a question. So you will have 2 pictures and the question. You can see the question, okay? There is no excuse. So they ask you a question and they're going to ask you, compare and contrast the picture and please the pictures and answer the question. So example, look at this one. Why do people enjoy spending time in these places? And they give you 2 places. You take your time and you start speaking. So you are going to say, well, in the first picture, we can see a boy that he is, I don't know, in the mountains. And whereas in the second picture, we can see people enjoying a city. I suppose the first person likes to be alone. He likes to be in touch with nature. Whereas in the second picture, people enjoy visiting new places, going sightseeing, etc. This part is really short, it's around 1 minute speaking, so it's so easy. And then students, they get so they get so frustrated, they don't know what else to say, and they start saying, I don't know what else to say, or hesitating. So that's focus, contrast, compare, and answering the question. Remember, you are going to answer the question at the same time you are comparing because we are not going to have so much time, so we have to do the exercise completely. Okay. So compare and contrast, do not give silly details like, oh, the guy is wearing a hat or a cap, or I can see that it's sunny. I don't know, it's not about that. It's the deep meaning behind the pictures, right? The first one was in touch with nature. The others are, people who prefer urban places. And then we had to use linking words when we are comparing whereas, however, although, from my point of view, etc. Don't forget to answer the question. Really, this is essential. If not, you're going to be penalized. Remember, for the speaking, the person who is taking notes about your pronunciation, about your grammar, your vocabulary, and your fluency. Okay. Keep going. Don't stop if you make a mistake. Yeah, and this is important because some people make mistakes and they get so stuck, and so they stop and they feel bad. No, please do not worry. Sometimes even in our own language we make mistakes and we continue speaking, okay? And this is what you have to do. Remember, it's a very short time, okay? You don't have to panic. Then, what is forbidden? To speak in Spanish. And you're going to say, obviously. But one day I had a student who went to the exam with another person that was not part of the academy for sure, and this person was speaking Spanish, like saying, no sé qué más decir. Hey guy, why did you pay? Why did you pay for the exam if you're going to speak Spanish? Obviously, we are not going to speak Spanish. We are going to use complex sentences. They don't want you to use short sentences. I like hamburgers. My name is Pedro. No, hey, link the sentence. Use linking words, okay? Then do not hesitate too much. I hate, you know how much I hate when people are speaking and they are like, no, something like that, like this. Come on, let's try not to do it. And do not describe everything in detail. Remember, go deep into the picture. Try not to say, I don't know, or something like that, because if you say something like that, it means that you don't know what else to say. Okay, great. And after the questions, after the pictures, okay, so you are going to do the pictures, then your classmate is here waiting for you, and the examiner is going to ask a follow-up question to your classmate about your pictures. And your classmate has 30 seconds to answer. Then, when they finish this part, it's going to be your classmate's turn, and your classmate is going to describe 2 pictures, and then you're going to have your 30 seconds to answer a question related to your classmate's picture. So you're all the time paying attention, okay? Great. Here again, I'm giving you an example. Please press the video, go to the video, watch it. It's gonna be not it's like 3 minutes. Look, 3 minutes, it's nothing. Watch it and then you come back. Okay, great. Then speaking 3 part 3, collaborative task. Look at this beautiful Tom Cruise, and he's saying, help me help you, help me help you. And this is like for me, is like the key thing of the speaking part 3. In this collaborative task is the time that you have a conversation with your classmate. Remember, in the speaking part, you can go with a second person or with third or with 3 if they have many people. So, let's go back. Excuse me. Now, are you ready to be natural? Yeah, because you have to be natural. You're going to have a conversation. What is the meaning of conversation? Conversation means not monologues. It means asking and answering questions. It means having fun. So imagine that you are speaking with a friend, okay? So imagine this situation. They give you this and they say, why would these ideas attract more tourists to the town? And they give you some ideas, some prompts. So let's say like the objective is to speak about most of the prompts, and to have a nice conversation, a natural conversation, agreeing and disagreeing with your classmates, and speaking like, I don't know, maybe like 3 minutes, more or less, 3 minutes. So a conversation means to be natural, like speaking with a friend, to ask questions and answer them. Ask questions. This is not a monologue. They don't want to know only your opinion. That was the beginning of the speaking. In this time, you have to help your classmate. Because if you help your classmate, your classmate is going to help you in order to have a good speaking part 3. Then, to help the other one when runs out of words. And this is so important. Imagine you have a classmate that he gets nervous and he doesn't know exactly what to say. So this is the time for you to help the person to say something. Then you have to speak about most of the prompts, and you have to agree, disagree, and suggest. It's not essential to agree, and I love when people disagree. In my class, when they are disagreeing, they make the conversation more natural. If the only thing that you say is, oh yeah, I love your idea. Oh, that's great, fantastic. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Oof, oh my gosh, poor examiner. He's gonna get so bored. So what you have to do is the opposite. If you disagree, it's like a confrontation and you want to give your ideas, the other person his or her ideas, and it's making the conversation more natural. Do not speak to the examiner. This is not because, sometimes I have my students and they are like, okay, collaborative task. They are with the classmates. and the classmate is here, right? So when you speak with your classmate, you speak like this, hey, hello. But no, they speak to me. And they're like, oh, in my opinion, you say, no, do not look at me. Look at your classmate, okay? Please, please, if your partner is shy, help him, her. Help, because they are going to help you. If your partner wants to speak all the time, interrupt politely. You say, hey, excuse me, I also paid. This is my time as well. So you just say, hey, I would like to say, but always politely. This is not a fight. And do not agree all the time. And the less you agree, the more natural, the more normal the conversation will be. Example, again, go to this video, watch it, enjoy it. It's only 4 minutes. You see, it's not really long. And then, great. Now, speaking part 4. These are questions for you and your partner, and the questions are related to the collaborative task. So pay attention, because now the examiner is going to ask something to your classmates, and you have to pay attention to what your classmates say, because maybe the examiner says, do you agree? Do you think the same? See? So if you are thinking like, please finish, and you're going to be lost. So focus, it's only 2 minutes, all right? Give reasons for your answer all the time, not only in this part, in every part, okay? And do not wait for the examiner to ask you why, because sometimes they are not going to ask you why. Summarizing, don't worry if the examiner stops you. It's part of the process. If you make a mistake, continue speaking. Don't interrupt your partner. You can interrupt politely if the person is speaking too much, but try not to, and relax. So now, what are we going to do? Again, I want you to write in 1 minute, what have you discovered in this video? What is the most difficult part for you? The speaking part. And remember to take notes, because if not, you know that all the things we have learned disappear. Okay, I give you 1 minute, starting. Okay, here again. Great. As usual, I will read everything, and you will find that very soon. I'm going to send you my answers. Now, let's light, camera, action. Let's put everything into practice. We are going to download part 1 and part 2 of the speaking part. We are going to write possible answers for part 1, and we are going to write a short speech for part 2, and you're going to send me the answers. Apart from this, we are going to have live speaking, where I'm going to send you an email, and I'm going to tell you the exact days we are going to get together. We are going to have the collaborative task number part 3 and 4. We are going to do it live. So we are going to do it with people of other countries, or maybe from your country, together with me, and I'm going to give you my feedback. Great? Yes? Good. I hope to see you there. And now we are finishing your worst nightmare, and now we are going to Shakespeare time. So hope to see you in the following video. So now play it.